I'm going to clean up this piece of steel now. To explain where this came from, my brother works for a township, a road commission, maintenance of our road systems right here in the U.S. In the ditches, people throw all kinds of trash out. People don't go to recycle centers. They just throw crap in the ditches in the countryside. Well, my brother mows ditches at times with part of his job, and he runs over and he doesn't run over everything, but he finds all this crap that's just thrown out in our ditches and countryside. And they pick it up and they either recycle it, they throw it away if it's trash, or they reuse it. Some of the stuff is steel, and in this case it was a grate. It was a big, really heavy duty grate, and had several of these cross hatches, cross members that were straight to kind of make it solid. Well, this one is bent considerably. So I thought, he asked if I wanted it. He cut it up and kind of, chamfered the edges so they weren't super sharp, just so it's a little safer. And I said, sure. I said, this is a flat stock. This will go good with the mill. I can certainly use this for something. And this is a mystery metal, but who cares, right? This is what I like to do on the channel. Use what I find, and this is at least 1/4 inch thick material. The problem with this piece, I don't have a press or anything where I could try to straighten this out. I have 4 other pieces of this, so I think what I'm going to do is cut off this bent section, kind of like what I did with this round bar that I had before from my brother, and then I'll have a couple nice pieces of flat stock that I can use for future projects. First thing we need to do is kind of see how much flat area we have to use here, and then draw a straight line. So this one here, it's about 6 inches, not quite. 7. Let's put this over here. About 5 inches, 5.5 inches. I think we're gonna go 5.5 inches. The curvier part is on the back side. There'll be a little bit, it won't be completely flat, but it'll be most of the material. I think I could just go ahead and do 6 inches to minimize waste, because the front side of it's not too bad. And we will do that 6 inches as well. And we will just square that off. We'll cut that on the bandsaw. Now the next side is this side over here. Let's just go up to here, up here. Same pieces that we can use, and that will take out this real terrible bend. But there's still going to be, it's still not going to be perfect, but at least that will give me a couple pieces that I can use for something. Let's get these cut off and then see, maybe we can cut some more of this off. It's not just bent, it's actually twisted. So this might be better to just recycle and get rid of. Let's go ahead and cut these pieces off and see what we have. Aren't perfect. This is probably the worst piece, but I'm not going to throw it away. These two, they're still twisted, kind of warped. If you look, This one too. If I was to just use this portion here, it'd probably be okay. But I think I'm gonna keep those. This is gonna be easier to store. I've got full-length pizzas. I have 4 of those. I can use those for different projects, but this will give me some flat stock that I can get started with, and maybe I can flatten this out with my arbor press. I doubt it, but maybe. Maybe we should try it. Doubt this is going to work. Let's see. Yeah. That's not going to work. I don't have this mounted down. This is way too thick. Not even going to bother with that. We got these cut out. I've got some flat stock that I can use for different projects. I'm going to throw this in a mess in the shop. Thanks for watching. Let's get on to that next thing. Everybody, welcome back. We're getting on to that next task, and that next task is an unboxing. Now, this box was received in pretty poor condition. It is destroyed. It's been crushed, crumbled. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, the beginning of that movie where he kicked this box all down the block and everything. That must be what happened to this box. Ridiculous. Hopefully nothing's damaged in this box, in this package. Let's go ahead and do an unboxing. This is some gifts that were sent my way, just some extra tools and other items that someone wanted to share with me. So we're gonna do an unboxing here, go through it, and just see what we got. Again, this is just silly. So USPS, received in damaged condition. Received from who? It was them that did it. Nobody would ship a package like this. Just ridiculous. Could you even claim damage from the post office? All right, what do we got here? We've got a catalog. This is a cool catalog from Vevor. This was sent from my friend Dave, and he's got this catalog, Vevor. He just had this old catalog and wanted to share it with me. But there's a lot of cool information in these types of things. Testing results. I'm assuming this is from their products, but boy, these things are expensive. These high performance drills, $131 for a 12 millimeter. Jeez, some of these things are expensive. Pretty high, must be high quality tooling and whatnot, but I'm not sure I could ever afford any of this stuff. Thread mill. Here's a threading mill, $208 retail. Anyway, it's interesting. I'm gonna go through this catalog. I like to just compare different things and just see what they're offering and how much they're wanting for it. Get rid of some of this. All right. He said that he had a bunch of extra brushes, wire brushes, and quite frankly, I'm kind of happy to have this one. If you've seen mine sitting up here, mine's seen better days. It's got pokey bits all going in every different direction, so it's kind of nice to have a nice clean steel wire brush for cleaning up different materials. There's a couple diamond blades. He did say he had these. He has like 5 or 6 of them, and he said I'm never going to use all 5 of them, and so he sent a couple my way. And yeah, they're, you know, the thickness of that blade is all got some diamond impregnated cutting abrasives. Now, I've used something similar to this with tile cutting, things like that, so I could see this will come in handy for maybe cutting some tile or brick or you know, landscaping type block, something like that. I'll figure out a use for these, but appreciate these being sent my way. They got a really interesting sheen to them, the green. He had 5 extra oilers. He thought, well, I'll just send you one. I've been experimenting with different oilers, oil tips and things like that I've been wanting to use to figure out a good system for my button oilers. So this is one that I want to try and experiment with and see how that does with the machines. Okay, he said he had some C-clamps. He saw the C-clamps that I was using, and they were clearly Harbor Freight crappy C-clamps. I mean, it's what I have, and they were made in China. But these here, this is a Cincinnati Tool 4-inch C-clamp, body clamp, number 400. This is a good quality, good U.S. made C-clamp. Hargrave, made in the USA. This one is a really nice piece. I'm glad to have that to improve my clamp situation. He had a larger one, or a different style, another Cincinnati Tool made in the USA. I believe he cleaned these up and painted them as well. This was a 5-inch standard C-clamp, number 540. Again, he's got these things nice and smooth. The quality of these far exceed the Harbor Freight one that I have. I'll tell you that already. What else? Oh, geez. Okay, so this is I believe this is a hole saw, or a hole saw adapter, where if you've ever seen hole saw bits, they have a large hole that goes onto a base, and this would be like a pilot hole, and you screw in the hole saw over the top, and that allows you to get some accurate large diameter holes in wood or even steel, depending on what kind of cutters you have. This one's really interesting because it has a couple pins. You can screw this in and it locks that into place. It's a nice piece. I'm looking forward to using that one. This is a Milwaukee, made in the USA. Thank you, that's a nice one. Set this over here. Got a little handle of some sort. Let's see. What's in here? We got an empty box. So there's something floating around in there, unless this came out of that, which it may have. Now, he did say what this was, and now I'm trying to struggle to figure out what that's for, but it's an interesting piece. Okay, it's got a little dovetail. This is a holder for, let's say you have a dial test indicator or something with those little tiny dovetail joints. I could put this on, let's say, my dial test indicator, and this has all kinds of different ways to mount this, and you just got to mount this shaft, and you can then move your dial test indicator around as needed. So I'm going to experiment with this. I'm looking forward to using this. That's a neat little piece. Thank you for that. I still don't know what this little box is for. What else we got? Oh, look at that. This one, here's another C-clamp. Look at these C-clamps. This is a really steps the game up here. An Armstrong number 406. This one is also made in the USA, drop forward Chicago. That's a really nice, another nice C-clamp. Really, really nice piece there. I don't know, this would be probably a 6-inch. Oh no, that's well, probably 6-inch usable by the time you, so a 4, 5, and a 6-inch C-clamp. Really nice. Well, that's what came in the box. I don't know if anything, I'm guessing if there was anything else in there, it's probably long gone. I'm not sure. Hopefully this is what was in this small box, and everything that was sent has made it. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. Watch the USPS. They don't care, and somebody who doesn't account for anything, if they get a hold of the box, they're going to drop it, kick it, throw it, smash it. It doesn't matter to them. But at any rate, all this stuff seems to have fared very well and made it to my workshop. Thank you, Dave. Again, I appreciate you sharing some of your older tools that you have and some of the things you've cleaned up. I definitely put these things to use in the workshop. Coming from a background where I didn't have these kinds of tools and a lot of this setup, all this stuff is greatly appreciated, and it will definitely be used in the workshop. Thanks for sending those along. Everyone else, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Let's get on to that next task. Everybody, welcome back. We're going to get on to that next task, and that next task is to try to get the copper off of these things that came off of that hoverboard. They're the motor commutators, maybe that's what they're called. Actually, I don't think that's what they're called, but some of you out there that know, go ahead and post it down there if you do. But I want to get the copper out of these things. I want to do a melt at some point. I'm collecting some of the copper that seems to be worth the effort. And so let's see if we can get the copper off of these two things. I think there's enough in here to warrant trying to get it out of there. Might be a chore, but we'll see how successful I am with that. Well, it's interesting. I need to figure out if so this looks like aluminum to me. I doubt it's steel. I'm sure it's aluminum, but it's not red like copper would be. I'm pretty sure there's no white copper. So I think they went from, hopefully from aluminum here to copper. I'm gonna scrape some of this and see if this is just coated. It's copper. I cut into it, but I just want to make sure that this is actually copper. I'm not sure. If you know of a better way to tell if this is real copper, let me know. I'm going to scrape it and see what it looks like. That looks like copper to me. I don't think that's red coated aluminum. Pretty sure that's copper. We're going to go with that. But if you know of a trick on how to tell if a metal's copper versus aluminum, because you can't use the magnet trick, you know, for the copper versus aluminum, let me know. I'm sure there's a chemical way to do it or some trick that you all know. If you know, let me know. as I'm going with these things. I don't think it's going to melt down to a whole lot, but if I do a copper melt, that's just going to add to it. I might as well have taken as much of that out of there as I'm wanting to. So there's what we have. That should melt down nicely when I do that. There's a couple little pieces here, but they're molded into this plastic thing, and quite frankly, I'm done messing with it. Interesting stuff. A couple C-clips or circlips. I should probably throw those away and use new ones. Might hang on to them in case I ever need one for something. And a couple, these were the axles or rods. They got a keyway in them. I'll probably throw these in the scrap bin. You never know. Might make a nice project. Looks like there's a center already on these from where they were probably turned in some CNC or some sort of machine like that. But who knows? Might come in handy. Throw that in the scrap pile. Let's get on to that next task. Well, everybody, it's time for that next task, and that next task is something that I think would be useful. Generally, you're going to have this on larger lathes just for your ways protection, things like that. But what I want to do is build a nice simple ways protector for when I'm working on changing my chucks so that I'm not accidentally bumping into the lathe ways and maybe potentially damaging them. So it's just a simple platform that I'm going to make out of this piece of 1x6 oak. We'll spray it and stain it and make it look all nice and neat, sand it down. But the idea is that it will rest in here, and I'll even put kind of a little stop on the front of it so that it doesn't go anywhere. I might even put a little stop on the back too, so it can slide and not just slide off of there. So that's going to be the project for today. Inch and 3/4 down from the bottom. That will keep it nice and protected there. I think that'll work. Very simple project. I know this thing will probably get oil on it and stained up, but I'm going to use this feed and wax. It's a polisher, conditioner, and I have it, and I think that's going to work out good for this. So let's get a coat on there. We'll put several coats on and see if we can protect this thing a little bit. I'd really like to have like a clear coat, but I thought I had some. Let me check one more time. I've got this boiled in linseed oil. I'm going to use this. I'm going to put some gloves on. And we'll put several coats of this on here and protect it that way. Really soaks in pretty quickly. Well, we have our shelf made. It's complete. We've got it treated with some boiled linseed oil, and let's just do a quick test fit here. Fits in there nicely, and we can slide that back and forth, and that is going to add some protection if I'm working on something heavy where it's not going to come down and hit the lathe ways. I like it. Turned out really nice, easy, simple, super simple project. Almost seems silly to share it, but why not? That's what we do in this workshop. Well, everybody, that's going to bring this Messin' in the Shop video to a close. I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for sticking with me, even these simple, goofy little projects. I just like to share it with everybody. And thank you for coming back week to week. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Really helps out the channel, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.